All right. So, welcome to this session of meeting the team at Distancify. My name is Christopher, and this time we're having.
I'm Rebecca. Hi.
And Christopher Lindblom, the other one.
And Cristina.
And Cristina, yeah. You've heard the other episodes of this little mini series. Christina's been my sidekick through those episodes, but she's actually going to be interrogated in this one as well. Yeah, let's just get into it and see what happens.
You just mentioned before it's not an interrogation, it's a discussion.
Yeah, that's what I said before, but
You changed
that
your
was off the
mind.
record. All right, let's start with this opening question. It's a good question. What do you wish you had known about Distancify before joining the team? Do you want to start, Cristina?
Yeah, I can start. Well, I hinted your work culture.
Yep.
But I would have wanted to know more about your project. I've checked your clients, but still I wasn't sure exactly what kind of services you're offering and what are the projects you're working on for those clients. So when I applied for the job, I wasn't sure it will be a fit for me. So this is what I wanted to know more about your projects. And it would have been nicer to know that you are funny guys. Because during the interviews, all
Didn't
of you
listen
were...
to the podcast?
all of you were very serious in that, and I said, oh, they're so serious and professional. Probably it will be boring.
Right.
We
Yeah.
can be boring if you want.
And I
That's fine.
said, should I apply?
Yeah.
But I'm happy I met you guys. I'm happy I applied.
Yeah, we're happy you did too. So were you surprised when you met us? I was like, oh, these
Yeah.
guys are funny, right?
Yeah.
But you were desperate for a job, so you were like, I'm applying anyway, right? No, I'm just kidding. All right, anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, want to go first?
I don't even know what I should say because I have been at Distancify as long as Distancify existed. So
Yes. Yeah, but that's also true. We've been talking to Levi and Paul, and
Yeah.
it's the same for them. But you don't even. No, wait, Levi started before you.
yeah,
right?
he did like
Yeah.
a couple of months before me, I think.
But we were
Good.
colleagues.
Yes, we
Like,
were.
You were hired by the Swedish retailer that we worked at from the beginning.
Where I sent in an email to try to get in there, and then I got ignored for a long time.
Did you just like randomly send an email?
Yeah, I wanted to come in when I was in school. I was like, yeah, you do development in where I live. So I thought, why can't I just come and visit you guys and see what you do? So I tried to get my foot in before.
Yeah. It's actually a funny. So I can't remember the details exactly because it was, I don't know, 8-9 years ago. But I remember walking in Herrljunga, where the company were, and we had just recently started working with a product called New Relic, and I was on my way to the pizzeria, obviously, because that's the only place where you could eat. And I saw this guy walking around in a New Relic t-shirt, and I'm like, what is that? Is that
A
who is
nerd.
that? Who is that person? This could be a made-up memory, but I remember telling Stefan, our other colleague at the time, about it. I saw a guy with a New Relic t-shirt, and I think he said then that, yeah, that guy sent us an email or something like that, or like he knew about you before, so there's a chance that he saw your email and masterly chose to ignore it.
Yeah. Yeah, I used the New Relic for my project. I ran
Yeah.
a bunch of projects. So.
Yeah, but it was very unexpected to see.
Yeah, you
Someone
don't
like
see
it.
that. I still don't see any in Herringen with the New Relic t-shirts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
But
but
it was a freak accident.
yeah, I don't know how much. I mean, I know very much about you guys before you started Distancify from
Yeah.
our
But if
old
we go
job.
back then to when you started,
Yeah,
then
but I was just happy to get around other programmers because I've been programming forever.
Yeah.
And I had one friend or something, but he was also a lone programmer.
Yeah.
So I've never been in a team.
Right.
I wanted to get around people who had similar interests as I had. So I don't know. I was just happy to be there
Yeah. Okay.
here.
Were you surprised though after you started? Like Cristina thought we were boring and then we weren't.
The only thing was like, because I was into Ruby and anti-Microsoft and
Yeah.
Mac, and then it was like, yeah, .NET, I will do that. It's like,
you
but
went,
I've been,
you went into a complete Microsoft.
yes, you were very pro Microsoft,
Yeah.
and I I just take it.
Yeah.
He's an extrovert, so he can cheer up everyone, even if the guys are boring.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
like-
easy to mistake for an extrovert, but
you are.
you all know what I am. I don't need to say the introvert. But
Then
now it's Rebecca, I think.
let's replace
Yeah.
it with integrator.
We had. I used. I don't know. Maybe there'll be a lot of stories here, but there's the interviewing process for hiring Lindblom was about one of our more exotic ones. Yeah, it started out like maybe we should just hire someone more because we felt like we were overworked, and that's when like Stefan pulled out of his sleeve. It's like maybe this guy. You know, I've been sitting on his email for months. Maybe we should talk to him. Like he seems persistent, and he can never get any other job. So. I don't know. And you came in and we had an interview. It was like one of those group interviews. So it was me, you and Stefan, and then you.
Yeah. Me against you guys.
Yeah. Sort of like interrogated.
Yes.
And you said that you like to read a lot and that you read like one book a day. And we're like, that can't be true. And then it was actually true. But we were like, we have
Not
to.
one book a day, but a lot of books.
It sounded like one book
Yeah,
a day.
but
Yeah.
it's a lot of books.
Reading or listening?
No, reading
Okay.
and listening.
Yeah.
Like you can't read when you bike and stuff, so I used to listen when I can't read.
And so we figured we have to really test this person, right? So today our recruitment process is a little bit more refined with actual tests. What we did was we went and played mini golf.
Yeah.
Such a big difference comparing the interview.
Yeah.
Paul had, the interview in the
Yeah,
dark room. Yeah.
Yeah, that was more dramatic.
Yeah.
So we played golf and we're like, yeah, he's pretty bad at golf. Maybe we just hire him. Because I remember that you lost, I think.
Yeah, it didn't go well for me.
I think you like
I was in the lead in the beginning. I think.
you
Then it just
yeah, but it, like
I just started laughing. and
yeah,
I couldn't
exactly. You just
stop.
laughed all the way through and like forgot your club and like which course we were at, and it was
and I wasn't
it
drunk. I was.
it was a
sober.
warm day.
Yes.
It was very
Yeah,
warm.
it's hot and I don't have any hair.
Yeah.
And you
So,
still got the job.
Yeah, still.
we
There's
didn't
a
have any
drought in Herrljunga.
how
of
many other
developers.
people were there in Herrljunga with a new Relic T-shirt at the time? It's like
Yeah,
There
and I'm
weren't-
still here, so that's good.
yeah, it was a great hire though. But we hired you almost exclusively on your personality.
Yeah, I was
And-
about to say that anyone would want you in their team.
Oh, thanks.
It's a
Yeah.
treasure.
I will think about that when I'm home next month on my parental leave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will have so much boring time
Yes.
during.
Yes.
We'll send you pictures of
Oh, how
us
boring
being
it is.
sad.
Yeah. The fun Cristina just talked about, it disappeared.
Yeah.
No.
It's gonna be raining inside.
Yes. Good.
All right. All right. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So, Rebecca,
Yeah.
what did you wish you had known about Distancify before joining? And now we should say, well, I kind of introduced you in another episode, Cristina, but you've been here since the summer, and Rebecca, you've been here for slightly longer, but you're still kind of new.
Yeah.
Um,
I've been here for 3 months now, basically.
Yep.
At first, I was thinking that, well, I knew everything that I wanted to know, but listening to Cristina, I was like, yeah, I also looked up a lot of things, but I couldn't really grasp what you guys were doing.
Mhm.
And it was presented to me in a light way. Everybody's really, really smart in this company. And that made me feel like, oh, finally, I want to work with smart people.
Right.
I've been not working with smart people for like all my life. I'm sort of tired of that. So that's the thing that I knew. That was like, yes, I'm looking forward to working with smart people.
Right.
But then I was thinking about what Cristina said, looking for the information and not really grasping what you guys were really doing. So when it was presented in a light way, basically building people's e-commerce, then I was thinking before I had ever entered this scene where you are working, like, okay, so they're doing a web shop for that company, then it's done. What's there more to do? Why would they need an assistant for this? How much work, like that will be done in like half a day and then what? But then as more as I like get into the work that you do and understand more and more over time, I see that it's something really narrow from the beginning and then it's like splashing a big lake of things that you don't know.
Yeah.
So one thing that I had wished for when I got hired, you're hired. We know that you don't have that kind of technical background like we do.
Yeah.
So here's an easy word list just for all the abbreviations and the programs that we're using, what they are, and the terminology and that kind of things, because that would have made my first month at least very much easier, I think.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that Cristina and I talked about now.
We should make a dictionary.
Yes.
Basically.
For new hires.
Yeah.
To have these are the programs that we're using and the terminology that we use, what we mean by.
Yeah, it goes pretty deep, and it goes into domains, very separate domains.
Yeah.
And
we could have one for e-commerce at least. That's something we should have.
Yeah, like the industry terms, and then we have the internal ones as well, which is
but those we might just.
Yeah. There is a learning curve, and we account for that when we hire people. We have a pretty long warm up period, so we're like, it's probably at least 6 months before you're sort of pulling your own weight in that sense. But I think we also are struck by the curse of knowledge. We think, since everything we are doing, it seems kind of obvious to us, we think that everybody knows about it. So it's good to just come in and like, I don't know what this is. Okay, right. Maybe we should explain that, because it's really hard to know what others don't know when you know it yourself. Because everything is easy once you know it. And it's going to be more important as we become more people. Now, we're not trying to become 100 people, but still, I think it was easier when we were 5 and we were 10. And
it should be communicated in one way or another.
Yeah. But I think it was interesting. You mentioned, Rebecca, that you thought of it being like, well, they just make a website and then they're done. I think that's actually a pretty common idea, even among people who are studying maybe programming or development, or even developers out in the market today. If you haven't been working with e-commerce, most people, I think, imagine it being just that. Like, you make a website and that's it. And sometimes it could be that. It can definitely be that. It depends on what platforms you're working with and the type of clients that you have. But for me, e-commerce is it's one of the most interesting industries to be in. You get to touch so many different domains, because we try not to only build the storefront, but we also want to tackle, like, now we got an order. What happens then? How does that get into a physical box that gets sent to the customer? And what will we do when they return it? And how can we make sure that they are refunded the correct amount of money? And there's a lot of customer support flows as well, and customer retention. How do we get the customers to come back to our store? And we try to tackle all of those domains. So for me, there's so much interesting stuff to learn in e-commerce. I didn't think much of e-commerce before I started back in 2012 and got hired at this e-commerce retailer. I was like, yeah, maybe we'll build websites. Turned out to be a pretty deep rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's what you see. You see like product listing, front page, some product page, and then also you see these landing pages. So you think, I would be doing landing pages.
Yeah.
But what we do, I mean, you talked about everything else but the storefront. You said we do storefront too, but our storefronts is also like support for the sales representative. It's custom, like if you want to print a label on the product, we build a tool for that into the front. So they are more like applications than a regular website, I would say.
Yeah. And I mean, we have had projects. We've been doing logistics in the past. We're not doing too much logistics right now, but I think logistics is a very fun domain as well, where it's about building these automated, super efficient processes. Like, how do we get this thing from A to B in the most efficient manner? Or how do we support people working in the warehouse? We've had a project in the past where we built a handheld device, walk around the warehouse and do various things. That's like very far away from just building a website, right?
Yeah. But it's a little bit connected to e-commerce, because e-commerce have a warehouse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we can do it.
That's what I mean. Like, the only thing we're not doing is pure manufacturing. That's in one industry we're not really dealing with. But even if you're into gamification, or if you're interested in psychology, the e-commerce industry has so much to offer. It's like, how do we make the customers trust us in buying? or purchasing from us.
And also the consumer behavior changes over time, and businesses have to adapt, even change some parts of their websites. So it's a continuous development, marketing strategies, new implementations, new payment options. So it's a continuous work. It's not just a website.
Yeah, and we're never done.
Yeah, exactly.
So can you tell us just briefly about your roles? You mentioned assistant, but people probably want to get to know you more.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Well, I do a little bit of everything, I think. I don't have a job description like that. It develops over time. So I'm like, I see something that needs to be done, and then I just like, is anybody doing this? Okay, no. Okay, then I'll do it. Main job is like assisting Christopher in his work so that he can focus on other things, making it easier for him and also for other teammates. Sometimes I'm just sitting in a meeting and taking notes and doing the protocol after that, and other days organizing staff events or travels or running a recruitment process. It's really interesting. I can take advantage of all the things that I know from before and use it here as well. So it's a good mix of practical things and strategic things and things for the day and stimulating the brain in different ways. That's basically what I do.
I remember when we recruited you, the one key feature that sort of resonated with me was the way that you just do what needs to be done, regardless of your role. And I noticed that you just do stuff, and I was like, oh, you did that. That's great. I didn't even have to tell you. And that's
very proactive.
Yeah.
And organized.
Yeah, and that's a great attribute. You, Lindblom.
Yes.
What do you do?
I am a developer.
Okay.
Yes, I develop things.
Right.
Programming.
What do a developer do?
I solve problems. I get a problem, and then I figure out a solution, and I implement it, and I test it, and I deploy it.
Right.
And then I make sure it works in production. Then I make sure that there is
Sometimes.
production to put it into. And then,
All right.
keep that production environment up.
All right. Would you say that your role has changed since you started?
Yeah, now I do more product development.
Right. Yeah.
Lately.
Yeah.
I also do help my colleagues a bit, or I just waste their time. I don't know. I have fun. They seem to get their stuff done also, so it's good.
Yeah.
I like to keep an eye on things that I think might be good for us.
Yeah.
Or what's good for developers, and I try to bring it into work.
Yeah.
And a bunch of it we are using. So
yeah,
I like to do that. So it's a place for that. I mean, it's not something someone had asked me to do. It's just that, I think this could run there, or I think this can run on this type of technology stack.
Yeah.
And this is an open company for that. And I think that's good, because not every company is like that.
Yeah. Yeah, even though we might not always be able to keep up with your pace.
No, which might be good, because I changed my mind a bit.
Yeah.
So,
but sometimes I call you my walking, talking dictionary of technologies. Like, if I hear about a technology and I was like, I want to know more about that, I should probably just ask Lindblom, because you probably read a book about it anyway.
Yeah, I get messages. It's like, oh, you mean that thing? It's not really new, but
I looked into that 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's like, I deemed it not good. Yeah. Why? I don't remember. I just remember the whole thing is like, that's how I look at stuff. I look at them and then I read everything and I make a conclusion. Then I scrap everything and remember the conclusion. So I don't remember everything.
Right.
So I will have to look
the
that up.
motivation is lost.
Yes. Yes. And then it's like, it's dead to me.
Okay. Right. So Cristina, what are you doing? What's your role?
So I started with customer support in the first weeks.
Yeah.
And then I took a leap of faith and decided that the online presence of Distancify is quite a priority.
Right.
So I decided to make this my project.
Yeah. Did anybody tell you to do that? Because you just started doing it, and I was like,
no.
Did you talk to Johan or someone else?
No, but I had a talk with Rebecca. She told me that you are looking for web developers, and I said, okay, we really need the best people.
Yeah.
And maybe even headhunt someone. For sure, the ones that have a very good job will not come to work with us if we are not selling ourselves in some way.
Yeah.
So I said we have to take care of this.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we have very good web developers in Bamada, in Romania, actually. And if they'll go through the same processes I've been, like the recruitment process was beautiful, was great. But then I couldn't find anything about you guys.
Yeah.
So I don't want them to be in that position as me. Like, why would I leave my job to just come and work with you?
Yeah.
That's why I said, okay, I'll take this project.
Yeah.
Just make it, because we need the best people.
Yeah.
That's why I decided to work on the visual identity.
Yeah.
I already did a prototype, some wireframes for the website. And yeah, continue with the social media, communicate what we are doing, what our plans. Also talk about our clients. What are they doing? I'm also taking some administration tasks at the office in Pamarem.
Yeah.
And organizing.
Yeah.
And yeah, organizing the office, the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think you're it's a huge variation. I'm trying to get you a little bit into also handling requirements from customers and clients, and managing releases, perhaps. You'll be having a pretty broad role, and I'm sure it will be evolving over time.
Yeah, I'm open.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's funny. I remember during the interview, you literally said that you easily get bored.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
I was like, oh, honestly, that's good.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you're going to take it as a negative or a positive thing, because there are some people that like to stick to their job and not do anything else.
Yeah.
When I was applying to jobs, I studied some courses, HR and logistics, and I thought, am I going to do this my entire life? Be an HR manager or a logistics operations manager or whatever.
Yeah. For me, that was a positive, or I could kind of relate to it.
Yeah,
quite a
tell
lot.
me.
I get easily bored.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Do you get easily bored, Limblom?
I'm never bored.
I
just switch. Yes. I never have time to get bored.
Yeah, right.
But you have a strategy, don't you, Lindblom? Like doing all the boring tasks all at once and for a while, and then you can move on to another thing?
I mean, it depends on what you consider boring. Like, I had something where I needed to copy stuff, and I made it into how fast can I do this? Then I was moving my windows so they were fitting really good. So it was the shorter distance, and
It's actually funny that you tell me that, because I saw Oscar doing the exact same thing like 2 weeks after he started in support. He'd been like arranging his windows so the distance he had to move his mouse between the buttons was optimized, so he could finish the support tickets that he was doing then in the least amount of time.
it's fun.
Yeah.
And then you make it fun.
Yeah. You two are a little similar.
Yeah.
The code name for Oscar, he doesn't know this, but the code name for Oscar during his interview process was Mini Lindblom.
Yeah.
Lindblom.
I heard it. Yeah.
This is the new Lindblom.
Yeah, new Lindblom.
Is that why you're always competing?
But nah, that's because I just need to prove to him that
He's
I
always
can
winning.
win.
That's
Yeah. There's no competition. It's just a winner and a loser.
So I have a question for you, Limblom, since you've been working here for a while.
Yes.
Can you tell me about a team event that we've had? Just so people sort of get the feel for how it is working here.
Yeah. It was cold
Okay.
in one of them. One other was warm. The cold one, it was snowing, and we were in the forest. We didn't get any food. We had a fish that we had to eat without spices.
But you like fish.
I definitely do not enjoy eating fish.
Okay.
But this, I ate some of it.
Yeah.
Then we had to sleep in tents, and it was nice. Yeah, and then we flew helicopter home and drove to the spa.
Yeah. We figured you.
Yeah, that was
should-
fish in a tent. And then it was warm in Portugal. And in Portugal, they have really bad food, I think.
Yeah.
So I think we always get bad food, except now when we have Rebecca.
Yeah. Now we're
Or
only
when
getting.
Gunnar gets to decide.
Yeah. Now we're only getting good food.
Yeah, now it's good. Yes.
But what happened in the forest?
What happened in the forest? We were there with Renata.
The adventurer.
Yes. And we slept in tents.
Okay.
That's it.
Did you freeze?
Yes, it was minus degrees, and we had some sleeping bags which weren't really used for that temperature.
Yeah, they were made for, I think the label said down to 15 plus degrees.
Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah.
But
And it was like -7.
yeah, and we were out in the woods with lamps on our
headlamps.
Headlamps, yeah.
Yeah.
Collecting wood to make fire so we could eat the fish.
Yeah.
And we had water that we collected from a stream that was checked out, so it wasn't downstream from some dead cow wasteland. But it was fresh water that we could actually drink
sort
without
of safe.
dying. Yeah, because we need more people, not less people. So we try to keep the ones we have alive, I think. Yeah, so that happened in the woods.
Yeah.
What lessons did you learn from that trip?
That my girlfriend gets really angry when my employer takes my cell phone.
Yeah, there was no cell phone.
Yeah,
allowed.
it was a rule.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was nice. I mean, it was really, we had no cell phones, as we said there. We were sitting around the fire, talking. We were pretty hot around the fire.
Yeah.
And then we got to relax. So we walked into the fine restaurant in all this outdoor gear, not really fitting into the environment. We were hungry. We ate.
Yeah. I remember Johan was organizing the event. I knew kind of what we were gonna do, and he had written down a packing list: bring warm socks, and I had socks that wasn't particularly cold, so I'm like, those are good enough. But I didn't know that he was gonna get sleeping bags for 15 degrees, and I didn't know that it was gonna be -7 and snowing in the night, because it was around the time, this was October. It used to be about 5 degrees plus, except that one night when it was -7. The day before, good. The day after, good. But that night was much colder than all the other nights. So I remember sleeping, or I didn't really sleep, but I got so cold in my feet. I was like, I need to get my body temperature up. But at the same time, I was in a tent with Paul and Levy, and they were like closer to the exit. So I would have had to walk across them. And I didn't want to go outside of the tent either. I would be made even colder. And I started planking in the middle of the night just to get my body temperature up. And then I could sleep for like 20, 25 minutes until I woke up again due to the freezing sensation in my feet. So it was kind of cold. Yeah, so that was our 2019 event, and we're trying to gather the team 2 times a year. But that was our last event, and then we've had to cancel everything for 2020. And this is actually the first time that we meet since some of you even started. But we're trying to have a meetup in the company at least 2 times a year, 1 time in the fall and 1 time in the spring. And because we're distributed in to some degree, we have some people here in Sweden on 2 locations. We have the Romanian office, but we also have Desiree, who works from the Canary Islands.
Yeah,
we're trying to do.
Yeah, we've been to Portugal, Italy, and Sweden. Yeah. We also met up in Sweden a couple of times.
We've never been to Romania since we started this Distancify. We went to Romania before.
Already on my list, there are also so many things you can do, and great food.
Yeah, the food in Romania, I can vouch for that. It's great, and the nature is great, and I would say the people is great too. I usually joke people have prejudices against Romania, especially here in Sweden, but it's actually funny because sometimes you meet someone from Romania in Sweden for whatever reason, and they would say, never trust a Romanian. But if I wanted to generalize nationalities, I found that Romanians tend to be extremely honest people, more so than Swedish people. And I think it's funny because you have this sort of self-image that you don't trust each other, or maybe you do, but like it's sort of like a disconnect.
Yeah, it depends on the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
So sometimes I hear Levi or Paul saying something very bad, and I said, come on, it's not that bad, really.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe they had very bad experiences, but it's just 30% of everyday things that you're doing that is bad. Maybe it's just me because I'm mostly an outdoor person, but when you see what you have around that town or in my area, and all the places you can go by car in Romania, those things really don't matter.
Yeah.
At all, really. You can go to the mountains and to the seaside in the same day. So it's crazy. And mountains, I'm not saying 500 meters.
I mean, those are mountains. I've seen mountains in Romania. Here where we are in Sweden, there are no mountains. There are hills at best. All right. What are you guys most excited about for the future? And I'm talking in relation to the company.
The products. Can I
Yes.
say that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I have been working on companies' websites now for a while, our customers. And now it's fun for me to also be working on our own thing, something we build where we have all control.
Yeah.
That's what I think I look forward to most. Launching this, getting more people in and see how they behave, how we can develop it based on their behavior, their problems, and expand, build upon that.
Yeah.
We have some ideas, but I mean, we will see if it holds when real people get in.
Yeah.
That will be so cool. And then the marketing stuff comes in and we will have to play with that. It will be really, really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been going back and forth between sort of a classic consultant model and a product model in my career. I mean, I started out working mainly as a consultant and transitioned into sort of a product company. And we worked at this retail. We worked as like an in-house little product company in a sense. And then we've done Distancify for the last 4 years or so. Been to some degree a little bit of a mixture because our business model differs from like a classic consultant setup where we sell value instead of just hours. We're not a resource company or outsourcing company. So we're a little bit of a mixture, but we're refining this product model as well as a thing while retaining.
Yeah, we don't just get time to solve, like implement solution they do. We don't only get the problems either. We help to form the problems too.
Yeah.
We, together with them, come up with it. Many things they come up with on their own, but we also try to help them form the problem.
Yeah. But what I like about product development is the generalization of problems, because I think one of the most interesting design challenges is when you have many problems or challenges that can be solved by one elegant solution that is it's like flexible, and if we use it like this, then it will
without
solve
sacrificing anything for anybody.
Exactly, and without having to need to have like 1,000 parameters. Some applications and some products out there and services is like you can do anything you want, but you kind of have to implement it yourself. Except you're not writing code, but you're like toggling 1,000 different
which is
flags.
even worse.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, why should I do that? I just build my own system then that works exactly as I want it. What I think is fun is to solve problems where you can find these very, very elegant, simple solution that solves a lot of complexity. It's like the classic, the Einstein equation, E equals mc2. If you look at his original work, it's like pages and pages and pages of just equations and explanations, and on the last page, everything boils down to E equals mc2, and that's such a like elegant solution to all that complexity, and that is like the core of designing process for me. But anyway, what about you, Cristina?
The journey. I really trust that we will get to that point where you guys expect, and I really trust that I can do it together with you.
Yeah. Rebecca?
Yeah, I have 2 separate ones that I'm looking forward to, because as we're growing, we need to have more people in to handle like demand, and that means that I will hopefully have more recruitment processes, which is so much fun.
Yeah.
The most fun we had, I think. And when I met Cristina in person after we hired her, that was the happiest day for like a whole year.
She's like your baby.
And I had to apologize to her for the whole process, like it's so long and you have to do 4 tests, and sorry for all the tests, basically my fault.
I even wrote to her, are you going to tell me if I didn't get the job or something so I can continue applying? Because I stopped. I stopped applying. I said, okay, this is a very nice opportunity for me, so I will just focus on this one. And I said, okay, it's already 4 weeks or whatever,
Mhm.
3-4 weeks.
Yeah, it took a long time.
And yeah, I know I still have to take some tests and have 3 or 4 more interviews. And then I heard nothing from you guys, and I said, okay, I will just write to you to see if you're going to come back, even with a negative answer. Yeah.
I was the last interview, I think, before you got hired.
Yeah.
And you even said in that interview, like, will you hire me already? Or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm looking forward to is you and Johan are evolving the company and sort of being able to make the most out of the team's knowledge and the things that you have developed and created over time. The solutions and structures can be used for us in a different way. So it's not sort of wasted in just one company that we helped with that kind of solution, but can be used by multiple others as well to like make the most of it. And I think that's a really good way for you to go.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I meant before with the Distancify model, where we're selling value. We're selling these kind of mini products in a sense where we look for common problems in the marketplace and we try to create general and great solutions to that, which is different from like a classical consultant business where they're paying us for the hours that we're putting into this solution. So we better not make anything that they explicitly haven't said that they need. And with our business model, we can actually foresee that if we build it in this way, it might take us a little bit longer now. The customer is not going to pay any extra for that, but it's going to serve us later because we think that they are going to go in this direction. So we're trying to sort of look ahead and see where's the industry going, how are our customers growing?
Yeah, growing together.
Yeah. So we've had instances where we've launched a project and they're like, yeah, we're only going to sell in Sweden. And then 6 months later, like, maybe we should expand to new countries. And we're like, yeah, that's cool. We've already prepared for that. We knew you were going to do that. I think that allows us to be proud of our solutions too. Like we're building our own solutions as well with, of course, our customers in mind.
I think that's one of the things that are great about us. If you want something to function in a way and it doesn't exist, you just say, well, we'll just make it better. We'll make it ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to think, I think.
Lindblom will create it.
Yeah. Together with my friends here at the company.
You just had to say that, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. You can't take credit for everything.
No, because I would be lying.
All right. I guess that's it. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.